Beloved friends, sit quietly for a moment and listen not only with your ears but with your awareness. Today we reflect on these words. If someone gifts you this, throw it out now. Witchcraft in disguise. Many people hear such a sentence and immediately feel fear. The mind imagines dark forces, hidden curses, secret powers moving through objects. But understand this clearly, fear itself is the greatest spell ever cast upon humanity. And it is cast not by witches, not by spirits, but by ignorance. In this world, objects are empty of intention. A stone is only a stone. A necklace is only metal and thread. A doll is only cloth and stuffing. It is the mind that paints demons onto them. It is the mind that whispers this carries harm. When the mind believes strongly enough, even a harmless gift becomes heavy with anxiety. So what then is the real witchcraft in disguise? It is in the craving, it is in the hidden intention behind giving and receiving. If someone gifts you something that feeds your greed, throw it out now. If someone gifts you something that strengthens your pride, throw it out now. If someone gifts you something that binds you in obligation, guilt, or silent control, throw it out now. Not because it is cursed, but because it chains your heart. True poison is not placed in your hands. It is planted in your mind. When a gift comes with manipulation, it carries invisible threads. You feel you must repay. You feel you must obey. You feel you owe your peace in exchange for the object. This is the real spell. There are gifts wrapped in beautiful paper but tied with expectation. I did this for you, they say softly, but beneath the softness is demand. When you accept such a gift without awareness, you accept the chain that comes with it. Throw it out now. But understand this deeply. Do not throw it out with anger. Do not throw it out with hatred. Throw it out with clarity. Release it with compassion. If someone gives you an object claiming it has special power to control your future, power to harm others, power to bend destiny, see clearly. The desire to control life is itself suffering. Nothing external can master karma. Nothing material can replace right action, right thought, and right awareness. If you believe an object has power over you, you surrender your freedom. And when you surrender your freedom to fear, you become your own magician of misery. Some may give charms, symbols, strange tokens, whispering, keep this close. Ask yourself, does this bring peace to my heart, or does it plant unease? Does it make me more mindful or more anxious? Does it encourage wisdom or dependency? If it disturbs your inner balance, release it. But remember this also, the greatest witchcraft in disguise is hatred toward the giver. When you suspect harm in every gesture, your heart becomes closed. A closed heart suffers more than any cursed object could ever cause. Therefore, practice discernment without paranoia. The awakened one does not fear objects. The awakened one examines intention. If the gift is given with kindness, accept it with gratitude and remain unattached. If it is given with manipulation, decline it gently. If you have already accepted it and feel its weight, let it go peacefully. Your protection is not in rituals. It is not in symbols. It is in awareness. When your mind is clear, no curse can enter. When your heart is compassionate, no hatred can stay. When your actions are pure, no hidden force can bind you. Throw out not the object alone, but the ignorance, the greed, the fear. And what remains? Freedom, and in freedom there is no witchcraft, there is only understanding. Fear is the real spell. The greatest witchcraft is not in objects, but in fear and ignorance. When the mind believes something is cursed or harmful, it creates suffering within itself. Fear is the oldest spell ever cast upon the human heart. Long before there were stories of witches, curses, or hidden forces, there was the trembling of the mind in the face of the unknown. When someone says, if you receive this gift, throw it away, it carries witchcraft, what truly awakens inside you. It is not the object that moves. It is your imagination. It is your memory. It is your conditioning. The mind begins to create shadows where there may be none. Understand this clearly. Fear does not come from the object. It arises from misunderstanding. A simple item, whether a necklace, a figurine, a cloth, or a symbol, has no intention of its own. It does not think. It does not plan. It does not curse. Yet the human mind, when clouded by ignorance, can project enormous power onto lifeless things. In that projection, fear grows. And when fear grows, suffering follows. This is why fear is the real spell. It binds tighter than any rope. When you believe something has power to harm you, your body reacts, your thoughts become restless, your sleep becomes disturbed. The object has not changed, but your inner world has. The suffering is real, but it is self-created. In this way, fear becomes a magician, turning imagination into anxiety and anxiety into pain. See how easily the mind can be influenced. A whisper from someone else, this carries bad energies enough to plant a seed. That seed, if watered with attention and belief, becomes a tree of worry. You begin to look for signs of misfortune. Every small problem becomes proof of the curse. This is how fear strengthens itself. It feeds on interpretation. But the awakened mind observes differently. It asks what is truly happening here. It sees that the object remains silent and unchanged. It sees that the reactions are arising internally. In that seeing, fear begins to lose its power. Fear thrives in darkness. It survives where there is no inquiry. The moment you bring awareness to it, the illusion weakens. Ask yourself, is this object truly acting on its own? Or is my mind assigning meaning to it? When you question gently and honestly, you begin to reclaim your freedom. The greatest suffering does not come from external forces. It comes from believing we are powerless before them. When you believe that an object controls your fate, you surrender your strength. When you believe that unseen forces govern your peace, you abandon responsibility for your own mind. Freedom begins when you understand that your experience is shaped by your perception. This does not mean ignoring danger in the world. It means recognizing that not every discomfort is mystical, not every hardship is supernatural, and not every gift hides darkness. Fear also spreads from person to person. One frightened mind can disturb many others. Stories grow, details change, and soon a simple object becomes legendary in its supposed power. Yet all along it remains what it always was, material without consciousness. When you understand this deeply, compassion arises. You no longer laugh at those who are afraid because you see how natural fear is when there is confusion. Instead, you cultivate clarity within yourself. You ground your mind in awareness. You observe, you refuse to let imagination rule your peace. To break the spell of fear is not to fight it violently. It is to see it clearly. When you see that fear is a creation of thought, you stop feeding it. When you stop feeding it, it weakens. When it weakens, peace returns naturally. The real witchcraft in disguise is not hidden in a gift. It is hidden in unexamined belief. It is hidden in the unquestioned story the mind tells itself. And the antidote is not throwing objects away in panic. The antidote is awakening. When awareness shines brightly, fear dissolves like mist in the morning sun. Objects have no power on their own. A gift is just an object. It has no intention or energy unless the mind projects meaning onto it. The true power lies in perception, not in the item. An object by itself is empty of intention. It does not bless. It does not curse, it does not love, and it does not hate. It simply exists. Yet the human mind has a powerful habit. It paints stories onto silent things. It gives them personalities, energies, meanings, and secret powers. In this way, we forget that what we are reacting to is not the object itself, but our own projection. Consider a simple gift placed into your hands. Before anyone speaks about it, it is neutral. It has weight, shape, color, texture. That is all. But the moment someone whispers, "Be careful, this carries something dark," the experience changes. Your heart rate may shift. Your thoughts may become uneasy. You may begin to examine it with suspicion. Nothing about the object has changed, only your interpretation has. This is how the mind works. It rarely sees things as they are. Instead, it sees things as it believes them to be. Belief is powerful. It can transform a harmless item into a source of anxiety. It can turn coincidence into proof of danger. It can make ordinary events feel like signs of something hidden and mysterious. But look deeply, where does this power truly reside? Is it in the material of the object, or is it in the mind that perceives it? A stone lying on the ground does not become magical unless someone declares it so. A charm does not control destiny unless someone believes it can. Without belief, these things are simply matter arranged in certain forms. This does not mean your experience is unreal. The fear you feel is real. The tension in your body is real. The worry in your thoughts is real. But their source is internal. They arise from interpretation, not from the object's nature. When this is understood, something important shifts. You begin to reclaim authority over your own peace. The mind projects meaning because it seeks certainty. It wants to feel safe in a world that often feels unpredictable. By assigning power to objects, it creates explanations for events. This happened because of that. The unknown becomes manageable. But this strategy also creates unnecessary suffering. It binds you to superstition and anxiety. Awareness invites you to pause before accepting such stories. Instead of immediately believing that an object carries unseen forces, gently question the assumption. Ask what evidence is there beyond fear. What is directly observable? When you bring calm inquiry into the situation, you often discover that the object remains unchanged, unaffected by the dramatic narrative surrounding it. If you hold a symbol said to carry darkness, examine your direct experience. Is the object moving? Is it speaking? Or is the disturbance arising in thought? When you watch closely, you see that thoughts come and go. They create images, predictions, warnings. But thoughts are not facts. They are mental events passing through awareness. Freedom comes when you stop giving unconscious authority to your projections. This does not require rejecting cultural traditions or mocking beliefs. It requires clarity. You can respect others' perspectives while still grounding yourself in understanding. When you realize that objects have no inherent power over your mind, a deep calm emerges. You are no longer easily shaken by rumors or suggestions. You understand that meaning is assigned, not embedded. You see that fear needs belief to survive. In this clarity, you move differently through the world. You accept gifts with gratitude when they are offered kindly. You decline them gently when they feel inappropriate. But you do not tremble before material things. You do not surrender your inner stability to objects. The world is full of forms: wood, metal, fabric, stone. They remain what they are. The real transformation happens within perception. When perception is clouded, even a harmless token feels dangerous. When perception is clear, even a strange symbol loses its power to disturb. Thus, the key is not controlling objects. It is understanding the mind. When the mind is steady, the world becomes lighter. When projection fades, peace naturally follows. Hidden intentions matter more than the gift. The real danger is manipulation, gifts given with control, obligation, guilt, or hidden expectations. These emotional chains are the true bondage. A gift is rarely just a gift. Beneath the wrapping paper, beneath the polite smile, beneath the words, "This is for you," there can sometimes be invisible threads. These threads are not made of magic. They are made of expectation. They are made of control. They are made of unspoken demands. This is where the true danger hides, not in dark forces, but in hidden intention. When something is given freely, it carries lightness. There is no weight attached to it. The giver does not keep a record in the heart. The receiver does not feel pressure in the chest. The exchange flows like water, natural and unforced. But when a gift carries an unspoken contract, the energy changes. It may look generous on the outside, yet inside it whispers, "Now you owe me." This is the real witchcraft in disguise. Manipulation is subtle. It does not announce itself loudly. It often hides behind kindness. A person may give you something valuable, something beautiful, something you did not ask for. In that moment, you feel gratitude. But later, when they remind you of their generosity, when they expect loyalty, obedience, or silence in return, you begin to feel the thread tightening. You may think, "I must agree because they helped me," or "I cannot refuse because they gave me so much." Slowly, your freedom becomes entangled with the memory of the gift. This is how emotional bondage is created. Not through spells or rituals, but through obligation and guilt. The awakened mind looks beyond the object and asks, "What is the intention here?" Intention is the true substance behind action. An object can be small but given with purity and it brings peace. An object can be large and expensive but given with hidden motives and it brings unrest. There are gifts that inflate pride. Someone may offer praise, titles, positions, or luxuries not to support you but to bind you to their influence. Your ego feels pleased. You feel elevated, yet slowly you become dependent on their approval. You shape your choices to maintain their favor. Without noticing, you have traded authenticity for comfort. There are gifts that create silent control. "I sacrifice for you," they say gently. Remember that, these words become chains. You hesitate to speak honestly, you silence your needs. You accept behavior that disturbs your heart because you feel indebted. Understand this clearly, generosity that expects repayment is not true generosity. It is a transaction disguised as kindness. When you accept such a gift unconsciously, you participate in the transaction. But when you see it clearly, you regain your power to choose. This does not mean you must reject every gift with suspicion. It means you cultivate awareness. Notice how you feel after receiving. Do you feel light or do you feel pressured? Do you feel inspired or obligated? Your inner response reveals more than appearances. If you discover that a gift binds you in unhealthy ways, you have the right to release it. Release it without anger. Release it without accusation. Simply recognize that your freedom is more valuable than any object. Freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of conscience. The most dangerous gifts are not those rumored to carry mystical darkness. The most dangerous gifts are those that quietly take away your independence. They reshape your decisions. They influence your voice. They trade your peace for approval. True relationships do not require chains. They do not demand silence in exchange for generosity. They do not calculate favors like debts. When you see hidden intention clearly, manipulation loses its strength. The spell dissolves because it depended on your unawareness. With awareness, you stand firm. You can accept with gratitude when intention is pure. You can decline with calm dignity when intention is not. In this way, you protect your peace not by fearing objects, but by understanding motives. Not by suspicion, but by clarity. And in that clarity, no hidden thread can control your heart. Release with awareness, not anger. If a gift disturbs your inner peace, let it go calmly and consciously. Freedom comes through clarity and compassion, not fear or hatred. If you discover that something disturbs your peace, the first impulse of the untrained mind is to react with anger. It wants to blame the giver. It wants to condemn the object. It wants to push away the discomfort with force. But force does not create freedom. It only creates more agitation within. When a gift feels heavy in your hands, not because of its weight, but because of the feeling it corresponds before reacting. Sit with the sensation. Notice what is arising inside you. Is it fear? Is it suspicion? Is it resentment? These emotions are signals, not enemy. They are invitations to look deeper. To release something with anger is to remain tied to it. Even if you throw it away, your mind continues to replay the story. You imagine the intentions of the giver. You create arguments in your thoughts. You justify your decision again and again. In this way, the object may leave your house, but it does not leave your mind. True release is quieter. When awareness is present, you see clearly without drama. You recognize this does not align with my peace. There is no need to accuse. There is no need to create an enemy. You simply choose not to carry what burdens you. The act of letting go becomes an act of self-respect, not an act of rebellion. Compassion is essential in this process. The person who gave the gift may not even be aware of their hidden motives. They may themselves be acting from fear, insecurity, or a desire for control learned long ago. If you respond with hatred, you continue the chain of unconscious behavior. If you respond with clarity and calm, you break the chain. Releasing with awareness means you understand that peace is your responsibility. No one else can guard it for you. No object can protect it for you, and no dramatic reaction can restore it once disturbed. Only understanding can do that. There is strength in gentle firmness. You may say, "Thank you, but I cannot accept this." Or, if it is already in your possession, you may quietly remove it from your life. There is no need for announcement. There is no need for humiliation. The power of your decision lies in its steadiness. Anger feels powerful in the moment, but it clouds perception. When anger leads your action, you may regret your words later. You may damage relationships unnecessarily. You may create conflict that lingers far longer than the object ever would have. But when clarity leads your action, the outcome is clean. Even if others do not understand, you remain at peace within yourself. Releasing with awareness also means examining your own attachment. Sometimes it is not the object that binds you, but your desire for what it represents: approval, status, belonging. Letting go may feel uncomfortable because it challenges your ego. Notice this gently. Do not judge yourself, simply observe. You learn that you are capable of choosing peace over possession. You learn that your well-being does not depend on external symbols. You learn that calm decisions are more powerful than dramatic gestures. In this way, letting go becomes a spiritual practice. It is not about rejecting the world. It is about refusing to let the world disturb your balance. It is about standing in your center without hostility. When you release with awareness, your heart remains soft. When you release with compassion, your mind remains clear. And when you release without anger, you walk away light, carrying nothing but your own steady presence. True protection is inner awareness. No charm or object controls destiny. A clear mind, pure intentions, and mindful living are the only real protection against harm or negativity. There are many who seek protection in objects. They hang symbols on their walls, wear charms around their necks, place tokens beneath their pillows, believing these things will guard them from harm. Others fear objects, thinking they carry hidden darkness that can disturb their destiny. In both cases, the same misunderstanding is present: the belief that power lies outside oneself. True protection does not come from what you hold in your hand. It comes from what you cultivate in your mind. A clear mind is not easily shaken. When awareness is steady, rumors lose their force. When understanding is deep, superstition cannot take root. An object may be placed before you, praised as blessed or feared as cursed, yet your inner balance remains undisturbed. Why? Because you know that your actions, your intentions, and your understanding shape your experience far more than any material thing. When the mind is clouded by greed, even a harmless gift can become a source of attachment. You cling to it, you identify with it, you fear losing it. This fear becomes suffering. When the mind is clouded by hatred, even a neutral object can become a symbol of resentment. You project anger onto it. This anger becomes suffering. When the mind is clouded by ignorance, you assign mystical power where there is none. This confusion becomes suffering. But when the mind is clear, things return to their natural simplicity. You see that life unfolds according to causes and conditions. Your choices create consequences. Your words influence relationships. Your habits shape your future. No charm can replace right action. No symbol can override unwise behavior. No object can undo the results of harmful intentions. In the same way, no object can steal the peace of a mind that is disciplined and aware. Consider this carefully. If someone hands you something and tells you it has the power to control your fortune, what are they truly asking you to surrender? They are asking you to surrender responsibility. They are asking you to believe that destiny is controlled by material forms rather than mindful living. This belief weakens you. It makes you dependent. It shifts your focus away from the only place where real change is possible, our own consciousness. Protection arises naturally when your thoughts are examined, when your speech is honest, when your actions are compassionate. A person who lives with integrity sleeps peacefully, not because of a charm beneath the pillow, but because there is no hidden conflict within the heart. A person who practices awareness walks confidently, not because of a symbol in the pocket, but because clarity guides each step. Even if others attempt to harm you through intention or ritual, their actions cannot penetrate a mind that does not cling to fear. Fear is the open door. Belief in powerlessness is the invitation. But when you stand grounded in understanding, there is nothing for fear to hold on to. This does not mean becoming arrogant or dismissive. It means becoming steady. It means recognizing that the greatest sanctuary is inner balance. When greed, hatred, and delusion are reduced, your life becomes lighter. You are no longer searching for protection in objects nor trembling before them. In this way, awareness becomes your shield. Compassion becomes your strength. Wisdom becomes your guide. No external force is stronger than a mind that sees clearly. No hidden darkness can remain where understanding shines. And when you live from that understanding, you realize that true safety was never something to be purchased, gifted, or thrown away. It was always something to be awakened within.